I thank you for accepting our invitation. I admire you very much, not as a politician, but for your simple living and high thinking. Mr. Raja Kartikeya, diplomat of UNO, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, hope I covered everyone there, students. We need to know the history, to know about our past, to understand the present and plan for the future. I'm not a student of history. I never kept up with my academic vigor. But today I chose to speak about father of my nation because it's my moral responsibility and it's incumbent upon me. President Barack Obama, when asked by a student, whom would you have dinner with if given a chance, either dead or living? He said it would be Mahatma Gandhi. Not only that, addressing to the joint session of Indian Parliament in his earlier years of first term, President Obama said that he would not have been there in Indian Parliament, stood in that Indian Parliament that day, if it was not for Mahatma Gandhi and if Mahatma Gandhi would not have spread his principles throughout the world, including the United States. Dr. Martin Luther King, when he made a pilgrimage to India to read Mahatma Gandhi, came back and said, if humanity has to progress, Mahatma Gandhi is inescapable, he is inevitable, and if you want to ignore Mahatma Gandhi, it's on your own risk, said Dr. Luther King. Similarly, Nelson Mandela in South Africa, who was imprisoned for 27 years, when asked which country would you go or visit after release, he said it would be India, that land where Mahatma Gandhi was born and walked. He is my political guru, he is my inspiration and role model, said Nelson Mandela. I am citing few examples to tell you how Mahatma Gandhi and what he is, what's the greatness of him is. The last Governor General of British India, Lord Mountbatten, said when Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, Mahatma Gandhi would go down the history on par with Gautama Buddha and Jesus Christ. Albert Einstein said that he cannot imagine that in next 1,000 years that he can imagine such a human being would ever walk on this earth. He said generations would not believe that such a human being in his flesh and blood ever stepped his foot on this planet. He said Mahatma Gandhi is not a human being, but he is an avatar. If the God's kingdom has to brought onto earth, there is no other way than following the path of Mahatma Gandhi, said no other than Albert Einstein. So that is the extraordinary, exemplary and appeal of Mahatma Gandhi, a man who was born in India, in a remote village in India 150 years ago, is still spoken of today throughout the world. That is because of his principles and his adherence to those principles. Peace, non-violence and truth. Women empowerment. His fight against the social evil untouchability which exists in India. His fight against poverty, and more than everything else, he practiced what he preached. Including, I would give you few examples or some anecdotal evidences from his history. On 15th August of 1947, when India was declared independent, when whole country was celebrating, including the toppest leaders, our Jawaharlal Nehru, Patel and Rajaji, all are celebrating. You know where Mahatma Gandhi was? Mahatma Gandhi was on a hunger strike, pleading the masses to stop the communal violence. That is the level of his sacrifice. In another instance, when India was when partition occurred between India and Pakistan, India owed a money of 550 million rupees, or 55 crores, what we say in India. And Prime Minister and Patel rejected to give that money to Pakistan because it was using that money to fight India for Kashmir. But not to give that money because we agreed on. And as a last resort, when he failed to convince them, he went on the last hunger strike of his life. And he said, this hunger strike is not for the money that we need to give to Pakistan, but it is to uphold the honor and dignity of our nation. That is the level of his patriotism. Patriotism, not nationalism. Patriotism is loving one's country. Nationalism is loving one's country and hating other country. So he was a patriot. And now, he was not actually given the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna, because India thought that no award, no prize in India or no person in India stands superior to Mahatma Gandhi. Everything and everything else is inferior. He was actually nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1947, but unfortunately he was assassinated in 48 January, and it is not, Nobel Prize is not given posthumously. So, concludingly, I would say this. Is Mahatma Gandhi's relevant to the contemporary society? We know the Newtonian laws of motion. We say all three laws are correct until they are proven wrong, which will not happen because they are 100% right. Similarly, there is no single leader or single principle in the world after Mahatma Gandhi which is universally and unanimously accepted worldwide. Hence, he is relevant. All the evils that he fought against are still existing in much more severe way. Rampant corruption, just half more minutes. Rampant corruption, mounting unemployment, abject poverty, violence for resources, violence for power, violence for land and water, violence in the name of religion, from Pakistan, Afghanistan, throughout the Middle East and North Africa. I do not know, Raja would know better than anyone here. So, we are very unfortunate in our lifetimes, I think so at least, to witness the gruesome violence in recent history in two countries, Iraq and Syria. No religion, no principle, no political party or no politician ever either condone or teach such a violence. Hence, Gandhi remains relevant even today. Lastly, I would say this. Until justice is delivered to a person who is oppressed and faces prejudice, until every person who is hungry cannot be fed, until the poorest of the poor also get equal opportunity and access to free health care, until and unless every poor student in every corner of this world will get free education and quality education. More importantly, until unless every one of us sleep every day without a fear of seeing a better tomorrow, Mahatma Gandhi will be relevant. And I salute to this great nation of United States of America for giving me this freedom of speech. This will not happen in many countries. If you go to Iraq or Iran and talk like this, maybe I'll be killed. I salute to this country. God bless the United States of America. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a thought-provoking speech. Now we have introduction of